Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In our previous video, we have discussed section 12. In this video, we will discuss section 13. Before going to section 13, we will discuss section 56 of the Contract Act 1872, which is relevant to that section 13. In section 56, it is basically talking about contract to do act, afterwards becoming impossible or unlawful. So when an act become impossible or unlawful, then what will be the status of the contract is said in section 56. Here it is written that a contract to do an act which after the contract is made become impossible or by reason of some event which the promissory could not prevent unlawful. So if the contract after being made become impossible or unlawful for some reason which promisor could not prevent, then what will happen is written in this section. Here it is written that in that situation the contract will become void. So if an act becomes unlawful or impossible for some event which cannot be prevented by the promisor, then that contract will become void. Here basically three things are said. Here at first a contract needs to be made, then such contract was made to do an act which subsequently becomes unlawful or impossible for some event. So the unlawfulness or impossibility will arise after being contract is made, and such unlawfulness or impossibility is for some event which cannot be prevented by the promisor, and such event could not be prevented by the promisor. Lastly it is said, so then the contract becomes void as per section 56 paragraph 2. Basically we have discussed paragraph 2 of section 56. So if we take an example here, then it will be clear. Here it is written that a contract to take in cargo for B at a foreign port. So a contract was there between A and B. Here A and B we can see in the screen, and to take a cargo at a foreign port. A's government afterward declare war against the country in which the port is situated. So the government of A and the country in which the cargo will be taken is involving war against each other. So then what will happen? Here the port cannot be taken from the country of A to the foreign port which was agreed in the contract. So the contract become impossible here, because both the country are in a war situation now. Contract is not feasible to perform now. So the contract becomes void when the war is declared. So if we can understand section 56, now we will discuss section 13. There it is written that contract of which the subject has partially ceased to exist. So what will happen? Because here the contract is not fully impossible to perform, but in section 56 the contract as a whole is impossible to perform. So what the section 13 is saying we will discuss now. There it is written that notwithstanding anything contained in section 56 of the Contract Act, a contract is not wholly impossible of performance because a portion of its subject matter existing at its date has ceased to exist at the time of the performance. So here section 56 of the Contract Act, whole contract becomes void when the subject matter of the contract ceased to exist, resulting into impossibility of the performance. So under section 56, when the subject matter of the contract is ceased to exist, then the whole contract becomes void. But this section is saying a different thing. Here it is saying that if a portion is ceased to exist, then the whole contract will not be void, because a contract can still be possible to perform if a portion has ceased to exist, because the other portion has also some value, and by basing upon that portion, that contract can still be performed. So it is not as a whole impossible to perform that contract. So section 56 will not create effect for the specific performance of contract when the subject matter is partially ceased to exist. Even if it is partially ceased to exist, the whole contract will not become impossible or unlawful and will not become void. This is all written in section 13. We will take an example. Here, a contract to sell a house to B for a lakh of taka. The day after the contract is made, the house is destroyed by cyclone. B may be compelled to perform his part of contract by paying the purchase money. So if we see the screen, there A and B, we can see the screen and a house between them. So they enter into a contract to sell that house. But in the meantime, a cyclone destroy that house. In the corner we can see what was the situation of the house after that cyclone. So now what will happen? Here the subject matter partially ceased to exist because still it is standing on the land, and land has some value, though it is not livable now, but that land has some value and a building can still be created on that land. And for B, that land might be so much important for B. So even though that land has partially ceased to exist, B can compel A to specific performance of the contract by giving or by paying the purchase money which was previously agreed to be paid. So this is all about section 13. Thanks for watching this video.